Well, thank you for bearing with us. Have we got a show for you? Regular programming. So let's see where I left off. Yeah, so we wanted to get some feedback from the respondents on how they feel about advertising. And so to do this, we partnered with the IPG Media Lab to help conduct this research. And we recruited almost 10,000 respondents from a panel to go through a video experience that was either on a PC, a smartphone, or a tablet. So they would get to choose a piece of video content to watch that was of varying different lengths. And there would be, randomly, we'd have a pre-roll ad that was either 5, 10, 15, 30, or 60 seconds long. And then after the experience, we would take them through a survey to get a series of brand metrics and attitudinal data points. So we had 5 clients that we brought into this study. We had Chrysler, TV Land, which is a network, Charles Schwab, Hotwire, and Mueller Coors. Now, one of the challenges was finding clients that have creatives that were in 5, 10, 15, 30, and 60 seconds long. Now, I have a couple quick videos of the 15, 10, and a 5-second of the Hotwire. I'm not sure if we're going to have sound. If not, I'll jump through it really quick. Let's see how it goes. And
Marco Polo, Sacagawea, Magellan. You have nothing in common with these brave souls, yet you book hotels without knowing their exact name and save up to 60% because you're a slightly adventurous traveler.
Hotwire!
So that's the 15. Here's the 10.
You're a slightly adventurous traveler because you book hotels without knowing their exact name and save up to 60%.
Hotwire!
And 5 seconds.
Save up to 60% on your hotel with Hotwire.
Hotwire!
So looking at those 3 examples, the first question is, how effective can a 5-second piece like that really be? So we'll look at a few quick metrics, and the first one is recall. And we were actually quite surprised, for aided recall, that nearly 50% of the respondents, 45%, were able to recall, seeing that ad. When we look at message recall, there's a little bit more of a delta between the 5 and 15 seconds, which kind of makes sense as you need a little bit more time to convey the message of the piece. And even when we look at brand perceptions, these are comments like it's a brand for me, it's a quality brand, so forth. We saw some movement even with 5 or 10 seconds. But where things started to get interesting is when we look at persuasion metrics. These are your brand favorability and purchase intent. And we found that, in fact, the 15 seconds is a turning point if you want to make any impact on these harder metrics. Now, we wanted to wrap up a series of best practices for using these short ads, and just by those few metrics, you can kind of see a few things starting to develop. So I'll go just through a few of these in sake of time. And the first one is by looking at screen size. Here we have brand favorability and purchase intent with the numbers indexed to be relative. And we find time and time again that the smartphone is really emerging to be a powerful advertising medium. It outperformed across the various ad lengths. And in fact, it's only around 15 seconds for purchase intent that you start to have the PC near the level of performance for a smartphone. And part of this has to do with the way we engage with this device. And it's also helpful that video on a smartphone is typically full screen. And as I described earlier, we had the content was randomly of different lengths. So we had short content, which was only about 1 to 2 minutes. Medium was 2 to 3, and then longer content, which was about 5 minutes long. And we wanted to see if the length of the content paired with different ad lengths had an influence. And the key takeaway is if you pair short ads with short content on the small screens is really where you get the greatest impact. And if you look on the other end of the scale, where you got the longer content with the 15-second ads, is where the PC starts to eclipse the smartphone in in performance. Now, we've heard a lot today about millennials, and we found that when it comes to these short ads, these millennials who have grown up with short content actually do a better job into recalling a brand after just 5 seconds. And anybody who tells you that millennials don't like advertising, we also found that they were more likely to rate one of these ads as more enjoyable or of higher ad quality than the non-millennials. Maybe they're just not jaded with advertising yet. And we had a good range of brands, so we were able to classify brands whether it was a brand that the consumers were relatively familiar with or if it was a new brand to them. And we found generally that the shorter ads work better with a well-tenured, a well-established brand. So up to this point, you're wondering, what about the 30s, 45, and 60s that we discussed? So we'll look at the context of those for just a minute. And like where we saw that the 15 seconds was the turning point for the persuasion metrics. So we see this continues. The longer you spend with a consumer, the better ability you have to convey product features, value proposition, and such. And when we look at the well-tenured to the new brands, whether you start at 5 and go all the way up to 60 seconds, the well-tenured brands do have some level of improvement, but really the greatest improvement comes when you're looking at a new brand. Spending that extra time is advisable to be able to introduce the features and necessary information. And again, looking at brand favorability across all lengths and all devices, we really are evolving as a mobile society, and this platform, time and time again, is showing to be very fruitful for engaging with individuals across all different ad lengths. Now, just because the data is showing better performance with longer ads doesn't necessarily mean that you should be running long ads. For a couple of reasons, a number of the cases, the difference between going from a 15 to a 30 or a 30 to a 60 was really marginal. So you don't want to inconvenience a respondent more than you have to. But also, as ads get longer, the drop-off rate, the completion rate starts to decrease. So we wanted to do some preliminary analysis. How can we take into consideration the drop-off rates for longer ads? So here we're looking at the 15, 30, and 60 across a few different metrics. And the colors are really coded as good, better, and best. So if you apply a weighting factor to these scores for drop-off rates, really what starts to happen is the influence starts to move back towards some of the shorter lengths. So the takeaway is, don't run a long ad unless you really need to, because it isn't always the most effective when you take in consideration some of those drop-off rates. Now, I wanted to look at a few data points about what's the perspective from the respondents, from the consumers. And one of the first ones is skipping. Now, we purposely didn't include skipping in the study for two reasons. For one, it adds a level, a dimension of complexity. But secondly, we want to run, it's a big enough topic that we want to run a study that focuses solely on skipping. But we did an analysis where we would give them a number of scenarios and ask them to rate the most and least preferred. And on one end, they could choose that there's no skipping available, but it meant you had very few interruptions. On the other end of the scale was you can skip after, say, 10 or 5 seconds, but the sooner you're able to skip meant that you had to endure more interruptions. And clearly, consumers want the power and the control to skip. It might be a good ad, it might be well targeted, but it might not be the right time for them. And they want to have the control over that experience. We're seeing this in numerous channels where media is moving back towards the control of the consumer. Now, the other scenario we took them through was if you have to sit for 30 seconds to watch an ad, or to spend 30 seconds in ad time, what do you prefer? 6 5-second ads or to 15 seconds or a 310 or just one 30-second ad. And we found by far they prefer that. If they have to endure 30 seconds of ad time, they prefer to do it in one single ad versus those multiple interruptions. And thirdly, we said, let's push them a little bit further. What would it take to watch a 60-second ad versus a 30-second ad? And by far, they said, if it leads to fewer interruptions throughout the middle of the content. Now, moving into this study, I really thought the ability to choose the ads would have been one of the higher ranked ones. But again, they want to have the control, and they want to have the fewer interruptions. So to wrap it up quickly, and I've purposely been trying to keep this move along because I know cocktail hour is here soon. One of the challenges of doing any kind of ad research is if you ask anybody if they like advertising, they always say no. It's just like privacy. Is anybody concerned about privacy? Everybody's through the roof concerned about privacy. But when you look at what they do online and some of the other behaviors, it's kind of the wrong question. So what we'll often do is not ask whether people like advertising, but we'll ask about the value exchange for free content. So after an experience, we'll ask them how fair is the value exchange, the content they got for the ad that they had to go through. So we would ask this on a scale of 1 to 100, where fair value exchange is right in the middle and poor value into one end and so forth. And we found it interesting that regardless of the ad length, people thought it was fair value exchange. This is kind of a surprising outcome, but the way I interpret this is the consumer sees an ad as an ad. They see it as an interruption. So whether you're interrupting with 5 seconds or 15 or 60 seconds, if you're providing valuable content, they see it as a fair value, value exchange. So the last couple slides, we looked at a number of different dimensions. We had 5 different ad links. We had 3 different devices. We had a number of different brand metrics that we looked at. So we wanted to create a couple scorecards. You can print them out on your desk and so forth. And one way to look at it is devices and the different brand metrics. And the takeaway from this graph is really that the smartphone continues to be the most versatile platform that we have today to engage across these different lengths. And another way to look at it is to look at the brand tenure, brand goals, and age. And there's a whole other slew of millennial data that I didn't include here. But the takeaway is you should use the short ads if it's a well-established brand, if you want to keep the brand top of mind, and especially if you want to communicate with millennials. But you want to use the longer ads if you're a new brand, if you got that much more information to convey the value proposition, and if you want to drive some of those harder persuasion metrics such as favorability and purchase intent. If there's 3 things to take away from, we recommend to all clients as you're building your campaign strategy to consider an ad length strategy. These 5 and 10 seconds are becoming a lot more common and popular. And say you are a new brand, or if you have a new service, maybe you do start out with, say, a 15 or a 30, but then follow up with a 5 or 10 second to help keep it top of mind. And secondly, if you are to use these micro ads, there are a series of best practices that you can deploy to get the best performance out of them. And finally, when it comes to advertising, a few different elements, issues, skipping and different lengths, consumers do have a pretty strong opinion, and we really need to kind of consider the context and the usability of that experience for the for the consumers. So with that, thank you for enduring it. I'm pretty sure all that noise kept you awake and such. And thanks again. If there's any questions, just grab me in the hallway. Thank you.
Pues muy bien, estamos a punto de concluir y nuestra última pregunta de la jornada es la siguiente. ¿Qué factor tiene más peso al momento de ver publicidad en video? ¿La marca, el contenido y la creatividad de ese anuncio o las personalidades o celebrities que intervienen en esta estrategia? La verdad es que está muy interesante. Recuerden, los invitamos a visitar nuestra cuenta de Twitter para poder responder este poll que la verdad está bien polémico, pero está bien interesante. Y finalmente, la verdad es que cerramos con broche de oro. Está con nosotros Natalia Lerbolino. Ella se desempeña actualmente como Head of Brand Product Solutions en Google Latinoamérica y es la autora intelectual del proyecto Global Human Stories, diseñado para abrir el comportamiento de las costumbres al contenido de YouTube. No, el comportamiento de los consumidores, más bien, al contenido de YouTube y puntos de vista para las marcas. La verdad es que está sumamente interesante, sobre todo ahora que YouTube se está volviendo, bueno, es muy popular y cada vez más marcas están buscando adaptar el contenido a historias y a casos mucho más reales. Así que, Natalia, bienvenida.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm trying to do something fun. I'm the last one, right? Okay, thank you for the invitation for GroupM. On behalf of Google, I would like to thank you, all of you, for being here. So yes, I'm here to share with you a little bit to understand what's happening and why video matters when it comes to shaping culture and content today. And YouTube is a big part of it. And everything started 10 years ago. 10 years ago with a simple statement: broadcast yourself. When we opened this window for people as a democratic platform where everyone in the entire world, regardless gender, regardless age, regardless the possibility for you to have a camera, to be a publisher, to be in an industry of Hollywood, everything has changed. People started to share their personal moments. Something cute, some funny, and others completely unbelievable. Some brands took advantage of it, and we started to consume things that we have never thought before. We used to see pictures from our families and friends only in meetings. Now we are looking and consuming this content everywhere from any person. And this is a huge shift, right? The homemade videos had become local and global success and celebrities. And I mean everywhere. The Vivo partner just said about Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is this little guy. He's an endemic creator from YouTube. He didn't have resources. He just came with his camera and started to sing, to show the world his passion. And today, he's the biggest pop music in the entire world. The Mexican girl, I'm sorry if I do not pronounce, right? Julia. She's the same thing, right? And she's born over there. Because this platform opens the possibility for each of you here, outside here, to do something and to share something. And this is the big shift when we think about mindset. We are living a new generation and era of entertainment. What entertainment means, go to the cinema, watch the TV, watch produced content, not necessarily. Sometimes we want to be surprised for things completely authentic. And I'm going to share two examples with you, which are the one that I really love. The first one is Susan Boyle. I'm going to show, probably you recognize her. She was on UK in Pop Idol. And at that moment, I could, from my home in Brazil, watch and have the same feeling that everybody on UK was having. And okay, you can tell me, you could watch on TV as well. But the difference is, Susan Boyle is so amazing that I started to follow her life. I started to follow her videos. The possibilities was endless in trying to develop this relationship because the platform is completely diverse and you can go everywhere.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
You didn't expect that, did you? Did you? No.
I dreamed of love of love.
And this is the the amazing thing, the scale of one recording that just was watched days after days after days. If you lose the live streaming, you could watch, come on, this went viral like crazy for months and months. And this is the possibility that we can enjoy as people on demand. So YouTube is a place where people can express their feelings, and they're going to find another person that's going to like, share their own stories with the world. They can find almost all the subjects, all the affinities, and you can watch whenever, wherever you want to watch, right? YouTube is the place where people come to search for video. If you want to know how to cook, if you want to find, I don't know, whatever you go there, if your destiny is to consume through video. So here is another example that I really like, and I'm sure that I would never have this opportunity to live and to have this feeling if it wasn't YouTube. This is a girl that's here for the first time.
Can you tell? Oh, that's exciting! Here, you can put it down for a second. Just get used to the sound. What does it sound like?
And this feeling that you are having right now, just to look at this, that is so probably distant from our own reality, is what makes people be engaged, is what makes people go there again and again and again, because they can be surprised. YouTube is a place where we celebrate people that we have never met, but somehow we know them. Have you noticed that on YouTube everybody's speaking to you? Everybody's speaking to the camera. You never have this feeling that nobody's talking to you. So this is completely social. People can interact, can ask for more content, and on the next day the creator is going to respond on video. And at the same time, it seems that they know us as well. Most of the time for people who subscribe channels, they just have now, if you look at the playlist, and I'm showing this because this is an opportunity for brands. They're just doing the conversations. You just record through your mobile phone, you put the content over there on the comment, the creator on the next day is going to be replying to you. It's a place where usual people become celebrity. Like these kids here in Mexico, Vasquez Sounds, they're huge right now, but they're endemic creators as well. And this was the only chance for them to be there. So this is YouTube. YouTube is a place where you can create, you can curate, and you can collaborate. If you understand the power of the platform as an entertainment platform, beyond media, beyond this space, we are not saying about it's for brands to build culture, to be part of what's going on, to grab insights, and to communicate where people are. We need to shift the mindset of pushing people to your content. They're not going there. You are the one that should be where they are, and they're going to engage with you if it's relevant. So you can talk anytime, yes, anywhere, and you can drive the best experiences with mobile virtual reality coming, 360 possibilities. Yes, we can make immersions. We can make the brands have a bigger relationships besides only products to have a competitive advantage. And when we combine these insights, the open platform, the possibility to run any side of video, to do follow-on views with web series, whatever you want to do, and the technology that Google allows the brands to play with the ads, yes, we can do amazing things. Think about Dove. In one day, they released the same content worldwide. In a week, the awareness was for the entire world. And they have different formats, different situations to move one human need. Accept the way you are because you are better than you think, right? And this every day, we are a platform of intent. We can capture people asking, am I look good? Am I look bad? So the platform gives endless possibilities even for creativity. Now we reached 1 billion users in the entire world watching this content. And it's the opportunity for brands to influence cultures and behavior all across the world. So a few examples here. Music. When you think about YouTube, yes, we have music. And they're huge because people come here to consume Vivo, to consume Warner, to consume celebrities, to consume user content generation. Music now is content. Music is not about what to listen and what to watch. If I love music, I want to sing. You are going to find lyric videos. If I like this celebrity, I'm going to do covers. Covers are now celebrities, and celebrities are doing covers of other celebrities. Yes, I want to follow the singers, so documentaries. You are going to see Beatles, you are going to see everything because I want to engage with this content. So this is the entire landscape, and people go there because they can have this diversity of content. In only one day, only to put in perspective, only one day, the consumption of YouTube in Mexico, I'm not telling about the world, here in Mexico, the consumption is 1,080 years in one single day. Why? Because everything is a collective place where you can surf wherever you want. Sports. What is sports? It's the live streaming. Sometimes I just say, this is like a donut. In the middle, in the center, yes, you have the live stream. I want to see the final of the soccer game because I don't want to lose. However, I want to follow what's going on. And TV sometimes doesn't have space to live stream, I don't know, skate, bike. I go to the gym. Sports is gym. Sports is to follow the athlete. I want to know what Nadal is doing during the weekends besides playing the tennis. This is the true affinity and engagement. And this is why the long tail of YouTube in terms of consumption, when you compare with the event itself, is bigger. And this is how brands should look beyond this expanded universe. If I'm doing something for this event itself, you can get the most of your investment if you start to look everything around, because you build the relationship across time. For beauty and fashion, it's not only about how-tos. It's about lifestyle, it's about meeting your closet, it's about going deeper and deeper. So YouTube is a platform that fulfills what people search. They search what they want in terms of media and entertainment. And why I would like to say search? Because they want to see, they choose to see. And this is different. So when we think about quality for us is what people want to watch. It's not what we say that is quality. And the quality is, yes, I have access to global content. So only for you to have an idea, most of the channels, 30% of them, the consumption sometimes is outside the country. 50%, sometimes 60%. PewDiePie, which is the biggest one in US, he's from Sweden. He's over there. But he's the biggest YouTuber in US. So let's break the barriers. Yes, for me as a consumer, I want diversity. I want every type of content. I want to consume on mobile. I'm here. All of you are with mobile. And you have this access. It's social and it's on demand. So if we understand this as a consumer behavior and look as a bigger platform where things are rising, where new content is coming, you understand that YouTube can be the place where you get insights, where you can navigate what's going on, what your brand can get hot, and also that you can distribute your content at scale. And for brands, for years and years and years, I think that everybody here works with marketing, building brands. We have the benchmarks, right? Every brand that's really successful goes beyond product. And for years, we have Harley-Davidson, Apple, and Nike. Why? Because they're selling lifestyle. So the brand perception put a margin way above to make this brand successful regardless the product itself. And nowadays, do you think that's the same brands everybody's saying about? Yes, GoPro, Red Bull, and even Volvo, which is a truck brand. And what is the difference between before and now. Because they don't want to provide a statement, they just want to serve what matters to people. They want interaction, they want connection between people and brands. Of course that those brands are publishers, and I'm going to show to you, okay, you don't need to be a publisher to be there. But this is something that was already happening. They didn't reinvent the wheel. So YouTube build brands for us, we really consider the entire funnel. Awareness, consideration, purchase intent, and loyalty. So how you can get the biggest advantage of how people consume video nowadays. The first example is Geico. Probably you know, they won Cannes last year. But what they realize, okay, humor as advertisers, we know that sells, right? People love humor. However, how people are consuming, they skip, right? I'm going to fight against this skip? No, I'm going to take advantage of a behavior for people to watch my movies. So I'm just going to give an example. In these 5 seconds, this brand was the biggest awareness of an insurance company with a product claim in the beginning.
Savings.
You can't skip this Geico ad because it's already over. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Yes, 5 seconds.
Don't thank me. Thank the savings.
You can't skip this Geico ad because it's already over. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
But you don't skip it because you think that's a 5-second ad, right? So you don't skip because it's going to finish. But then you see the dog eating. That is nothing related to the insurance thing, but they're selling entertainment. So this is the engagement. They're driving views, taking advantage of the behavior of consuming video. Whole Foods, for consideration, is more expensive, so why should I buy in different retailers? People want to have the best experience of their food. One thing that's already happening, how to? Yes, I want to know how to cook a nice barbecue for my friends. And I want to go after and entertain and have information about where this food comes from, whatever. In this sense, I'm going to consider this brand. Why? Because I have the best meat, I know where the meat comes from, and they have helped me in my meeting, in my dinner with my friends, right? So I go over and over and over. And this is awareness, consideration. So every time that I think about the supermarkets or something special, Whole Foods is going to be there. Warby Parker, for purchase intent. This was the biggest, most innovative companies in the US last year in Fast Company. And what is the difference? They sell glasses online. For everyone that, sunglasses, whatever, you need to try, right? So how come I can buy a glass in the internet? Jesus Christ. I will never sell. Nobody is never will consider. So of course, they try to buy. They say like 5 different pairs for your home. They have the customer services. And the questions were almost the same. If I have round face, which frame should I wear? So what they did, okay, I'm going to turn this fun. I'm going to capture the search review behavior that everybody is looking at it, and I'm going to scale into video format and kill my customer service because I'm going to make much more fun. And I'm going to get this search by Twitter. So everything that people are talking about Twitter and frames and everything, I'm going to use as a cue to drive my boring content.
Hey Kat, it's Phineas from Warby Parker. We saw that you were tweeting with the president, so we thought we would prepare you a little bit. So if you were to come to visit any of our retail locations with the president, we wanted to make sure you were prepared. So
they give tips that is common for everybody. This case, of course, that is special. But the one besides there was, okay, which one to choose for your best face? And of course, develop a content as a relationship. So Air New Zealand, they have done a web series just making fun of their security videos.
Kayo suai ini Ken Melonamen.
Welcome to Middle Earth, my friend. I'm here to guide you on your journey, so cease your rebel rousing.
People are watching this type of content on internet outside the plane. And this is the key thing. So YouTube build brands. Why? Because they give this free possibility to do whatever you want to do. We give the same possibility for creators, for brands as well. It's just to take the most of it. And besides this capability, yes, we think on products, of course, that empowers the message and create engagement. So for example, for awareness, think about Google. Google is a tech company, it's not only YouTube. You can distribute your entire content with formats in the entire web, not only video, but where the consumers are. Consideration, of course, if I'm watching, I want to buy what I watch. Is already something that's happening, we know. But I don't need to open. It's just the same experience, allowing me to buy something at the same time. And care with loyalty. You can be on the top 5 channels on top of every affinity that your brand should care about. Reach, we know. YouTube among 18-44, we have 50% of the entire population here in Mexico already. For targeting, the targeting capabilities, we should go beyond demo and geo. Why? Because you're not opening your funnel. People, you can have 18 to 24, but sometimes people just want to go deeper. You have the same lady, older, interested in the same product, and you're not going to talk to them. So let's explore deeper. The way I declare is not necessarily my true self. I don't want to say to people that I have, I don't know, this guy, for example, maybe, he doesn't want to say that he loves fashion and he goes through every content fashion to be able for every meeting, okay, how can I look like better? What is the best composition? I don't know, I don't want people to know that I like, I don't know, country music. So I'm not going to say, I'm going to show the best of me. And this is the difference. We have the ability to understand navigation, patterns, and deliver the content even for people that does not say, yes, I like this, and I'm going to buy this. And we are able to do this only if we choose, okay, if you engage with my content, I'm going to find similar audiences that has the same behavior and that are consuming this type of things. This beyond demo, beyond gender. I'm going against affinity, according to People Navigation's watch time geo. I want to talk with people that love soccer, that are in the city watching for this game. And I want to build my custom audiences as well. So we just define, and then we are able to deliver as well. And the context, which is the most important thing. I'm not a publisher company, but I want to be within the beauty in the moments that matter. I don't know what's happening on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So how can I follow this organic? I cannot create for all these kind of things, but I can be present when the audience are together consuming different types of content. And okay, blah, 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 blah. This looks like really nice, but what about results? We always look after metrics. We have metrics, but what we care about is results. And results mean people remember your ad. You have awareness to drive consideration. Yes, you have favorability. People think positive things about you. You have purchase intent. People that looked your ad next day went to buy. And you have interest. Interest is search. After you run your campaign, people are searching for you, it's because they want to. In Google, we have everything for free. Real time, after a week, while you are running your campaign, you know what's happening with your performance to change, to follow, to make the best of every investment and to give the right message to the right people for them to love your brand. Even if you need to change in the middle of everything, right? So just to sum up, YouTube shapes what matters in content and culture today. YouTube goes beyond spaces, goes beyond. So use YouTube as a platform for you to learn instead of sometimes running researches for months, and when the research arrive, it's old already. YouTube build brands, and I showed you some of the few examples. We just need to think not as a flighted, how can I be always on? How can I be part of the conversation? And yes, we need to measure results because we are here to run our ROI. So this is just the beginning. It's just 10 years, only 10 years that everything changed like this. Together we can do even better. Brands, people, and Google. And we are here to help you be successful. And I have only one ask. When it comes to YouTube, please don't skip. And I hope we can make awesome things together for creators, that you are the guys also trying to build this platform, the creators. They live from YouTube. They receive money. Some of them, they are YouTubers like us in our jobs. So we are developing a better ecosystem for the entire world. We are building our brands. And also, as users, we are having fun and the opportunity to see things that we have never seen before. Thank you.
Y bueno, pues todo llega a su fin y es así como damos por concluido una edición más de Next. La verdad es que descubrimos muchísimas cosas sumamente interesantes. Me quedo con varios comentarios y bueno, obviamente queremos agradecer a nombre de GroupM y de agencias como Maxus, MEC, Mediacom y Mindshare. Queremos agradecer a todos nuestros invitados, a toda la gente que estuvo compartiendo con nosotros todo esto y obviamente también que estuvo uniéndose desde sus trincheras para que obviamente sigamos construyendo y sigamos armando de una manera mucho más fuerte este conocimiento, este futuro del marketing digital. Muchas gracias. Una disculpa por todos los inconvenientes, pero bueno, la verdad es que todo esto es lo que le da color al evento. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos el próximo año.